Now, this video is about a small thing I've been wanting to tell a few words about for several months already, but somehow it didn't really fit any video. And, although it probably might be a rather obvious thing, I guess it won't harm if I make a short video about it. So, when we first saw these statues depicting some female figure in crown in Irithyll, I guess it was rather natural to assume that these statues were built to honor Gwynevere, the Princess of Sunlight. I mean, they're located in Irithyll after all, the city beneath Old Anorlando. And name of the new city now means moon, in contrast to its name in Dark Souls 1 which meant sun, sunny Lando, from J.R.R. Tolkien's elvish word Sursul, moon and Anor, sun. And I guess we can state that pretty much the central figure in Irithyll was grown up, comparing to Dark Souls 1, Dark Sun Gwendolen, who back in the day, used to guard the deserted Anorlando hiding behind the image of his sister Gwynevere. But that's been already discussed in a separate video about legacy of the Dark Sun Gwendolen. And basically Irithyll can be called something like a capital for the religion of the Way of White, as, for instance, after certain events Pontiff Sullivan resides there. Anyway, taking that into account, as well as the crowns on the statues, I guess we could assume that statues were depicting Gwynevere. However, as those statues aren't really much detailed, on the first look we couldn't quite just say whether that was really Gwynevere or not. So it was something like statues, likely of Gwynevere. I mean, indeed the main detail we know Gwynevere by, which is depicted on her old statues rather well, isn't that emphasized on the small statues. Also the clothes seem to be different from her attire, which we loved so much, she wore in Dark Souls 1. So there were also some reasons to doubt that the statues were really depicting Gwynevere as well. However, if we look closer at the statues, there is a certain small, yet distinctive, detail that I believe hints that it's really Gwynevere depicted there. These ribbon things on the sleeves of the small statues seem to be the same ribbon things as on Gwynevere's clothes in Dark Souls 1, and they seem to be rather unique for her attire. In addition to that, even though without the divine chest, some of the clothes on torso of the small statue seem to be similar to Gwynevere's old clothes, like worn beneath the new, heavier robes. Well, not like it was something hidden, but truth to speak, it was something easy to overlook, at least for me, as unwillingly my attention was focused on something more divine, rather than elements on Gwynevere's sleeves when I looked at her. So those ribbons on the statues didn't appear too important at the first look, or more correct is to say that of course I knew that those details did matter, but at first didn't realize in which way exactly. Anyway, I guess these similarities can be taken as another thing hinting that the statues are really depicting no one other than Gwynevere herself, or at least some person related to her. And as we see the statue wearing crown, we can assume that it's the grown-up version of Gwynevere when she already became a queen of her own. And naturally we recall that there, without a doubt, is a relation between Lothric's queen and Gwynevere that we discussed in Rosaria and Plan Behind the Five Thrones lore videos, though unfortunately we don't know for sure whether Lothric's queen is Gwynevere herself, or her descendant, which is also a possibility that can't be discarded just yet, but hopefully DLCs will make this part of story clearer. And also recall the bas-relief above the Lothric palace doors, depicting crowned female figure, most likely the Queen of Lothric, in, possibly similar clothes to those worn by the small statues in Irithyll. So you see, those ribbons are really a small thing, and possibly assumption that statues were depicting Gwynevere was rather obvious. But still I guess it's important enough to tell a few words about it, as it can be another piece of a bigger puzzle about the main story of Dark Souls 3. Thanks for watching. I hope I didn't disappoint you, because I myself hate when people make videos about obvious stuff and pretend that it's some sort of a revelation. It's not like I'm trying to say that this video was anything like revelation, but still I felt like it was worth mentioning, and I couldn't fit this stuff in my other videos. So what do you think? Do those small statues depict more mature version of Gwynevere? Also, check out other lore videos about some other, more interesting stuff, or Dark Souls names etymology videos.